Okay, we're rolling.
All right, cool.
Cool.
So I'm Karel. I'm here with Rising R&B Artist Archive. We've got 157.9 thousand monthly listeners on Spotify. Multiple songs with over 1 million streams. 63,000 followers across Instagram and TikTok. And today we're shooting for your new music video. So nice to meet you, bro.
Yeah, good
How
to
you
meet you,
been?
man. All blessed, man. Good to connect with you. I know we spoke on TikTok. You got your page, obviously. So I was like, yeah, man, good to connect. And I think it's about time to do an archive interview.
Yeah, I swear. I appreciate you showing the love, actually, by the way,
it's all
because I really do appreciate that.
Mhm.
So the first question I wanted to ask you was, when making art,
Yeah.
an issue most people have is waiting to be inspired. How do you stay consistent with your work? Do you have a way to be consistently inspired, or do you rely on something else?
For me, I make a lot of music. So I take a lot of time to make music.
Yeah.
And because I do it a lot of the time, because it takes a lot of my time, usually the inspiration is always there. But sometimes I feel like the inspiration can go when maybe the challenge is not there for yourself to try something new. Or it's funny, actually, sometimes the inspiration can go when you're going through hard times in life.
Right.
But then that's also the perfect point to kind of keep digging at it, keep trying for something to eventually come through, basically. So to keep myself inspired, I mean, I have my boys around me, you know. I think balance is so important. If you're always like with yourself and in your own head, like you're not really going to get out of that. Speak to people, work with different people, hear new things. Like I'm a rapper. I do kind of R&B music, but at the same time, I do see myself doing a lot more than that. Like I want to change things. Like this whole mask thing, I want this to be different in the future. You know, I don't want it just to be confined to this. So yeah, I think balance is so important. And there also comes a point where like you can't always be super inspired. You just kind of have to keep going with it.
Yeah.
And then the last thing is like life, man. Get out. You know, see the world. Go to different places. Like I think it's good for somebody to be extroverted and in a space where they're not comfortable, because it will just let you go back to your room. And then when you're recording, you're like, you know what? That just helped me see things in a different way. I can write about this. If you're not experiencing anything, then it's not really gonna inspire that. So yeah, I gave a lot there, but that was
But
basically
so you're saying like it's like you get it from the people that you're around and like the experiences from life. Like you force yourself to go outside, like live life, and then that's how you get it.
For sure. I think that's probably the best way to get it. I think anytime you're not inspired, you need to get out of your head.
Yeah.
It's literally the main thing you need to do, 100%.
So like on a day-to-day, like what would be like a productive work day with Archive?
Yeah, I mean, it changes. Probably going to the gym in the morning, it always helps you feel good, you know, like working out or whatever, getting some cardio in. And then I usually give myself at least one music thing to do, like whether that's complete one song, whether that's I need to do these 3 tracks on the project. There's one music thing I want to do that day to focus on, and that might be going in the evening and all that kind of stuff. I cook a lot, so like that's like it's a weird thing. Like a lot of my boys, I just realized like, I actually spend a lot of time cooking and making food for myself. I mean, some people do it, some people don't, so that takes up my day as well, like making all my meals and stuff. But I enjoy that. Again, it brings a balance.
Right.
But yeah, the productive day is gym, a little bit of time to myself, doing something on music that allows me to, get forward. And probably just, seeing mum at the end of the day, seeing dad at the end of the day, and just like spending a little bit of time with them probably.
Right, okay, I see. Okay, so would you say that like when you talk about doing something with music, would you say those are like writing exercises, or like you're actually trying to just get something done for the song? Or is it just practice?
Yeah, I think the big one's practice. I mean, I get a lot of messages from certain people as well, where they, young aspiring artists that might be like, how can I get, like, they want some advice or something, or they want to kind of get some feedback on like, how do I do this? And a lot of the times I really don't know how to tell them that, you need to just listen to so much music. You need to go away and just take that in, like the same way I've done for so many years. And even I don't think I'm perfect. But I do try to, one of the things I really try to do in my music is write music from other people's perspectives. So a lot of the music I write, they're not necessarily things I have experienced myself. There might be exaggerations of them, or basically me trying to put myself into someone's situation that maybe I seen one of my boys go through, I seen a friend go through, putting them through a situation, and then I'm like, what if I was to try and write something from that perspective, so that I'm still making music that's real. Maybe I haven't been through it, but other people have been through it. that's the one way I guess I like to challenge myself when it comes to writing from a perspective that I haven't really experienced, basically.
So why do you think that specifically?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you choose to specifically do that? Why do you think that helps you?
I think that helps me because, again, it allows you to think of things differently. I think it helps kind of control your ego with music as well, because if you're writing from someone else's perspective, it might be harder.
Right.
And it might be a way for you to be like, oh, actually, I need to get better at, writing about this or writing about that. And then the other thing is, like, I think I'm always inspired to do it, because when you hear great music and you hear one song do well and another song do well, and usually I feel like music nowadays that does well, other than it being maybe like a bit of a funny joke, the songs that do well tend to have like very smart songwriting or something that really rings to the ears or something that people resonate with instantly. So that's another part of it as well. Always having that like feeling of, it might be hard to write something from someone else's perspective, but if I can get it right, if I can really tap into their heads, I've now resonated with a people or an audience that maybe I'm not even like, I don't even know what that feels like. That's kind of like, it's like, for example, I don't know, you play football and you play you're so used to playing a certain way, and then all of a sudden you have like a manager or something that comes in and you want to play a different style of football, and you might be doubting that, and then you realize, I can actually play a style of football. It gives you that kind of inspiration to kind of keep going.
Right.
Essentially, yeah.
Got you. It keeps you like adaptable. You're able to like just put yourself in different perspectives and then resonate
100%.
with like other people.
For sure.
That kind of thing.
For sure.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
So like, right now, are you independent?
I am independent right now, yeah. I've had one record that was signed to a label, but that was like a single deal. Mm-hmm. So the rest of the catalog, yeah, we're independent.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Are you looking to sign a deal, or are you looking to stay independent?
I'm really not opposed to it, I think...
the deal?
Yeah, I'm not opposed to working with a label. I think the way I look at independent and like having a label is they're kind of the same thing, except you're either doing it with you and your team, or you're doing it with you, your team, and some other people, or just you and them other people. And sometimes I know labels can get a lot of bad rep and all that kind of stuff, because there genuinely are labels out there that just want to make money, man, and they just want to have the hits and they just care about the numbers. And at the end of the day, some of them, that's their business, right? But I do think there's some great labels out there. Maybe I'm yet to experience a lot more of them, but I know a lot of A&Rs and people that I look at and I'm like, yo, you're for the culture, you know what I'm saying? You want to make something happen, which is good.
Yeah.
For me, yeah, I'm not opposed to it. I think I definitely, I think it has to be right. It has to make sense. And I think for me, the most important thing is longevity.
Yeah.
If somebody can see my vision for what I have for Archive long term, and just the small things, how the fact that I don't want to just be doing rap music all the time. I want to do R&B. I want to delve into different bits. I really want to show my personality, which is why we're doing this interview today. Yeah. If they can see that vision for the long term, then I'm willing to work with somebody basically on that basis.
So they have to be able to see the long-term vision of Archived.
To a degree though, because no one's going to see your vision 100%.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? No one's going to really so that's why like a lot of artists can get caught up with, I spoke to this person, but they just don't get me or they don't see it. But that's kind of okay. Like, they're not going to see it the same way you're going to see it. I cut you off, but yeah.
No, but so they need to be open to it. They just need to know that you are, like, they need to be open to you taking the reins, taking control of the long-term vision of Archived.
100%. They need to see it a little bit at least.
Yeah.
If not like they see the whole thing and they click with it. They got to be able to be like, yo, you know what? We see where you're going. The results back it as well. So like, you're not talking out of nowhere. You've got something to back it, to prove that, whether that's numbers or the kind of like respect in the culture, whatever that is, essentially.
Are there any other green flags that, like, if a label was to approach you right now, you'd be like, okay, like, I'm open to you working with you? Yeah.
What's the green flags that they would have?
Yeah.
I would say if they're willing to answer any and every question. Because whether you're an A&R or a label person, you have to understand that the artist is going to have questions.
Yeah.
A lot of artists have had bad situations. I personally haven't had any bad situations, but I know people that have. So to any A&R, any label person, as long as you understand that like the artist basically has the right to ask any and everything respectfully and in the right manner. Those are the green flags. I'd say also if the label has I think I'm big on energy as well. Like, obviously sitting here, it feels great. Same thing when you speak to somebody else, I think the energy you get off with them, not necessarily that it has to feel amazing, but that as long as it doesn't feel bad or it doesn't feel like something negative, then maybe follow through with it. Those are probably the two I'd say.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
100%.
And so now that you are independent though,
Mm-hmm.
like obviously you need to be thinking about like streams of like income.
Yeah.
So I've noticed that you started monetizing your attention and followers by dropping like your merch,
For sure.
your archive merch.
For sure.
What's the most difficult challenge you had setting that up, and how did you overcome it?
The difficult thing was probably picking the designs, man. I'm so picky. I was like, yo, this. I was showing my boy like, yo, what about this one? Then we eventually realized we had too many options. So we was like, let's simplify it. We have this hoodie, few colors. We have some snapbacks with a different logo in a few colors. We're yet to do merch where we're fully like connected with a proper supplier. That's why I feel like this was easier, because it's just on the website, you can get it. But I feel like once we kind of level up and we do like whatever it is, then maybe it will be a little bit harder. But yeah, the main challenge was the kind of like design of it. Other than that, I just wanted something to just really look good as well. Like you wear it, like it doesn't look like something too simple or too plain. It kind of stands out, and that's basically how it looks like. Yeah. So
I mean, you're an artist, man. I'd be surprised if you weren't like picky,
Of course,
super picky
man.
about the designs and stuff.
100%.
So like, okay, so if an artist right now wanted to set up exactly like the same situation that you have,
Yeah.
what would they do?
And there's loads of websites where you can basically, it's called print on demand.
Okay.
But basically, the company will control all of the stock. You create the designs. It means you make a little bit less profit in the end, but it's a really great way for your fans just to rep the movement, rep the whatever you got going on. And then once you feel like you can step things up, that's when you can lock in and become a Cortez or something,
Right.
like you have a supplier and all that kind of stuff. But shout out to Cortez, we're not there yet, but maybe one
Day soon.
God willing.
So you've developed a large following.
For sure.
One thing that I really admire about the way you have like maintained your following is how you engage with your audience.
Yeah.
What inspired that? Like, how
Mhm.
did you say, all right, this is how I'm going to build and then maintain my fans and my audience and everything?
I think people care when you're already making music that they listen to and they resonate with. It really adds another layer when they're even able to speak to you and they see you on TikTok Live or they see you on Instagram Live, or you reply to their DMs. And I can't reply to all the DMs, but like you do just take the time out to just show a little bit of effort. It's the way I look at it is like, yo, if Drake replied to me or J. Cole or freaking whoever it is replied to me, I'm gonna be like, oh, you can even acknowledge me on the Instagram Live, like, oh, Archive, though, that's a great question. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So yeah, exactly, and that's part of it. But also, I think because I've had my entry within like the UK rap and kind of R&B space, and I really want to take Archive to a different level that at the end of the day I can only prove by taking action. That also makes me want to chat to my fans more, because I want to let them know, yo, like, I don't want this mask to be the only thing forever. I don't want the perception to be one way. And I don't, so just kind of communicating with them and just letting them know there's a real human behind it.
Yeah.
And I also think fans want to be part of something, I mean, if you don't mind, I got like one question for you actually. I was actually talking to somebody today and they were saying to me, I was saying to them, we saw an Instagram post and it basically said that sometimes artists can maybe show too much. And this is something I've been thinking about, because I do think sometimes there's a good value in maybe like showing yourself 60% of the time, but having that 40% locked off. So I guess, it's kind of like a question, but like, do you think like, for example, artists should show as much as they can, or it should be like a little bit, or like, this is something that I'm working on as well, It'd be good to get your perspective on it.
You know what it is? I recently saw something the other day. Do you know like Tyreek from like Love Island?
I don't watch Love Island, but maybe if I see him, I'd recognize
I only watched
him.
one season, but it was that season.
He's
But,
watched all of them, I'm joking.
no, but like, so Tyreek,
Yeah.
he started streaming, and I think recently he got into like some issue because his fans were like commenting too much on like his new partner.
Okay.
Right? And somebody in the comments had a take that was like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. It's like, if you're monetizing like your personal life to the extreme, like, you're showing people who you're dating and
Yeah.
like you're showing them your kids and all of that stuff, then it kind of invites them to have opinions about that stuff as well.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? Like, they will start talking about, oh, you shouldn't be dating this person,
For
or you
sure.
shouldn't be treating your kids like that. So yeah, I do think there's like
A balance.
There's
yeah.
a balance,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I think it depends on how much you expose. I'm always a believer that whatever you put out on the internet, you basically cannot complain if people are commenting and stuff on that.
Yeah.
Of course, you don't want to hate comments and nothing crazy, but like if people have general opinions, you've kind of got to deal with them and you put it out there. And again, yeah, as long as it's not like hate or anything. But no, that's a good perspective of that.
Yeah, but I like what you're doing though. I do think the way that you interact with your audience and stuff
Okay.
is like, it's good, because it actually makes it feel like, because again, like, you responding to my DM, I was like, oh shit, that's very cool of you to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, yeah, it does kind of make it feel of like a community kind
That's
of
good.
feeling, you know.
That's good to know. Appreciate that. Yeah.
So you released your first album in October 2025.
Yes.
How long did that take you, and what does it take for an artist to make their first album?
Yeah. So the album was a really interesting one because it definitely was still an album.
Yeah.
But it was one where, you know, it wasn't like a debut album where like I put, you know, I wanted to prove everything. It was more of like, I wanted to make the best project, like a best cohesive piece of work at that time that I could. And I think for me, it was okay because I record a lot of music.
Yeah.
So a lot of the times the way I look at albums is I have a few songs that I absolutely love that I don't feel like they're singles. So I want to put them into a project. And then I have a few other songs that maybe are me trying something different, but I still love, but I want to incorporate those into a project as well. So that project for me was essentially, I was really trying to make a theme with that project. Like I wanted that project to sound like nighttime. I wanted it to sound like London at night and you know, the kind of dark R&B vibe to it. And there's a few rap songs in there. There's a few songs of me trying to sing a bit. But for me, that was kind of how it was. It was easy for me because I don't want to say easy. It was easy in the sense of I have so much recorded music. I felt like I wanted to get a project out, and I really take a lot of time to look at some of the great artists that I admire, and the ones I admire, I believe they put out the best piece of work at that time when they could, and that's the reason why the great artists have songs from 2010 and 2015. You know, I always mention this guy's name, but me and my friend listen to Drake a lot.
Yeah.
And the one thing we do is we go on drives and we're like, yo, have you heard this song by Drake? This one? Or this one? Yo, you need to hear. So he's got so many songs. I'm just like, this guy put out the best music he could at the time he could in his life.
Oh, okay. I think
So
I
that for me was like last year, that was the best piece of work I could have put out. And the big thing for me is I want the fans to be able to look back and be like, I remember when Archive dropped that, or like they find out about me and they're like, oh my God, he has this project sitting here that they can take in, whether they like it or not. So that was the big thing for me.
Okay, so you're saying like it's like a timestamp of like where you're at in your like current career.
100%. Yeah.
And you want people to be able to like say, okay, this was 2025 Archive.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, exactly. And I think I'm so big on, like, when I describe my music, I basically say like it's lifestyle music. Like, part of the reason I don't want to show my face or I don't do interviews like this all the time is because I want the music to be for you. You take it away, you live your life and you go make memories to it. Because the best music that is in my playlist that I listen to all the time is the songs where I go, oh my God, I remember when I was in Spain listening to this song. I remember when we were here chilling, listening to this song. Or I remember when I was in such a hard time and I was listening to that love song. That's all I want my music to do.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like detaching from it. And that's what I wanted the album to do. I wanted the album for whoever listened to it to be like, they can go back to a time where it resonates for them. And hopefully it can be a little bit timeless, whereby later on it can kind of still sound good and still sound great for somebody in 2027 or 2028.
Yeah.
Essentially, yeah.
You know, like so like a lot of issues that like most artists have is like, the reason they might want to do what you're talking about, they might want to just put out a project, but they don't because, again, artists are picky, like they're super caught up in the details of their music. How do you just let yourself go? Like, how do you just say, all right, this is the time that I want to put out now, I'm going to put out now.
Do you mean that more to do with like the time you put music out or like the style of music?
So like, how do you just say like, this song is ready, I'm putting it out there. Like this album is ready, I'm sending it out there. Like, do you have like a mentality where you're like, do you feel like it's perfect every time you put it out, or are you like, it's good enough and I've done my best?
I think I'm quite good with it. Like, I know when everybody obviously will work on things and trying to perfect it. But I do feel like I'm quite blessed in a way where I can just be like, you know what, these little changes I'm making, I don't know if the listener's really going to take those in as much as I will. So there comes a point where maybe that has to stop, and you kind of got to take that in. So I think in that way I'm quite good. Again, my boys around me really help me to be like, yo, that's cool, that's fine. Like if I'm doing too much with it, they'll be like, you don't need to, you know. I think what's good about me is I'm very technical. What's good about them is they're very on feeling and vibe. So like that helps kind of balance it. If I'm so technical on these little intricate things, and then they're just like, yo, it sounds good, I can trust them, you know. So that's what helps with it.
That's actually a very good segue into my next question.
Sure.
So you mentioned that your boys like are really helpful in like balancing you out.
Yeah.
In your song Amends, you said that you've got 4 or 5 close friends.
Yeah.
Your girl and your family.
Yeah.
How important is that support network to you?
Yeah.
And how does it help in making your music?
Yeah. Firstly, I love the questions, man. Thank you.
Appreciate that, man.
Yeah. So I've never really been the type to have a big circle. I know it's like the cool thing nowadays to be like on DND and like I don't chat to anybody, but genuinely like in school I wasn't really like super popular or whatever. He was a lot more popular than me. But basically, yeah, for me it was like I was always kind of like had a few people around me, and I was cool with that. I didn't really want to do too much other than that. And then with the music, I think I don't do well when I have too many opinions on things. Because either I'm just going to block them off and just be like, only focus on me, or I'm going to listen to them too much. So that's why I feel like if I have a few people around me, that kind of help with it all. And whether you have a partner or not, the partner can help as well. And then when it comes to family, it's just, family's always family, you know. You shouldn't, I've always tried to improve any situation in my family that maybe can be improved, especially as we get older. But yeah, when it comes to the music, the boys are really important, and it can't be too much. 100%, it can't be too much. Yeah.
So, and also with like, because I also noticed that it was like an interlude with, I think, a girl like giving you like some advice. What was the context of that?
On the album?
On the album.
Yeah, no, it was actually a guy. It was somebody that, no, it's all good. To be honest, that was what I used to do is when I used to work in retail, I used to keep the voice recording on my phone in the morning. We used to work 5 a.m. sharp, get there for 5 a.m. And basically we used to do just delivery. And I used to keep the voice recording on because I like to sample the ambience of like the city at night, because we were going in and out of like the kind of central London. And then one time he was, just talking to me about this artist that had like done, like really, really well for himself. And, in my head, I'm just thinking, I know that can be me and all that, but I'm in this kind of job right now. And then I was just explaining to him that like, it's like he didn't understand the music or anything about it, but he was having a conversation with me, and he almost felt like the same way I did. And like, he was like, yo, you're gonna do it. Like, like something will happen. He was so positive about it. Shout out to him. And it was just a really nice conversation for me to look back on, because when I heard it, when I went on my old phone to find it, I listened back and I was like, yo, I actually was able to, do obviously nothing. I still got a lot more to do and I want to achieve a lot more. Yeah. But it was a nice way to be like, yo, I actually had that conversation, and then I was able to make something happen. And it was like a nice little personal stamp in the record that wasn't too personal, but I wanted to put in there. Yeah. That's something I hope the fans long term can just like take that in, and basically.
I can definitely see them using something like that to take it in, because like, would you say that that's another example of like how someone in like, I guess you're not like super close friends with him, but like someone in your like network got you through like a tough time, like that kind of thing? Is that what you would say? What in terms of like what? Like you were waking up at like early for retail. You were kind of like I mean, you weren't depressed, but like you were like, you needed some encouragement.
Yeah, I think so. In terms of when I had the conversation with him, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what was really inspirational about it, I guess. I think during the time I was working, I wasn't really negative. It was just more of like, yo, I know something's gonna happen. I know something's gonna pull through. I know I'm gonna make something click. It's like, I think Jay-Z once said it. He's like, when you're an artist and you want to be successful, it's not like about when. It's like a knowing. It's like it's like it's already happened in a way, but you're just waiting on things to kind of align. And for that interlude thing, and like it was, like you said, it was a good way to be like, whilst you're going through the dirt and like maybe the tough times, somebody who's not even involved in your life, who can barely see your life, it's like a beautiful, it's actually a beautiful way that somebody random could just walk into your life and be like, yo, you're good, like
Yeah.
you're doing all right, seeing it from the outside, you know. So yeah,
And
100%.
end up on your album like a couple of years later.
Yeah, literally, yeah, for sure.
So you also have like a thing about you I've noticed is that you have a very distinct visual style. Like I can always tell a video is yours from the first couple of seconds.
Okay, cool.
How important is it to have a unique visual aesthetic as an artist?
I think now it's important for sure. I still think I'm trying to get better at it. I don't think it's perfect. And I always tell my boys this. It's like, sometimes we can get in our head about being perfect, like we said earlier. But for me, if it's 60, 70% there and that's the best we can do at that time, so be it. So with the visual kind of identity, I try and make it, I really try and make the visuals align with the feeling of the music. So like today we're gonna do a video and you know, the track's called Notice It, and it's more of like a bit summery, a bit kind of like a cool rap song. So it's just gonna be like a bit of everything. Whereas if it's like a song about love or like about a heartbreak, it's gonna be after 8 p.m. and it's gonna be outside. So I think a visual stamp is so important for artists. And it really doesn't matter what it is. It just has to represent the sound of what you're going on. Like it has to, like if you're scrolling and then you stop, it has to represent whatever feeling you're trying to give off. Like,
Yeah.
That's what I'd probably say for that. Yeah.
And have you fully committed to music right now?
Yeah, right now, yeah, for sure.
And what point did you realize it was time to fully commit?
This is obviously personal to everybody, man. Everybody has different situations and jobs and stuff. For me, when I was working, it was probably when I got the deal on the first song that would allowed me to put a bit of money in my pocket. And also I had a good amount of songs that I was like, okay, I'm good for the year. Like obviously I'll keep making music, but I had a lot of songs ready. And because that first song called Ring Finger, the one that popped off, allowed me to get things going. It kind of blew up on TikTok. I was like, okay, I've got the momentum, but it wasn't a perfect decision. It wasn't like, oh, it was like completely clear that I should have, it wasn't. At the end of the day, like
It was a bit of a risk. Still.
It was a little bit of a risk. It probably still is a risk. I have conversations with people now that are like, are you sure? Are you still sure? But I'm like, cool, yeah, like that's part of it,
Yeah.
But if you're gonna get such a great reward out of it, it wouldn't be, that's the risk you're taking at the end of the day. Like if you're gonna have no risks, then it's not really gonna have a great chance of it being great anyway. So yeah.
What you said about the deal, actually, I want to touch on that.
Yeah.
So you said the label approached you after one song and gave you, what was like the terms of like the deal?
Yeah, so basically the song, I think I can get into a little bit of detail of it.
Okay.
But basically it was the second song I dropped called Ring Finger. And the deal was basically where they're gonna work on the song, they own it for, I think it's around, I don't know if I can say the term, but it's like a decent amount of time.
Okay.
And then after, like, in my case, the song would kind of just go back to me. Okay. So it was a good way. It's quite typical in the music scene for like, it's like a single deal where either they own it afterwards or like it goes back to you. And it was just a good way to kind of put some money in your pocket. Obviously you have to see if the situation works well, you need to get a lawyer and everything. But if everything works well and you do enough research, I feel like at that point, I had a lot of industry experience to be like, seeing other people sign deals and stuff. I knew what I was doing and I feel like I got the best like deal for that. So yeah, that was basically it for that.
That's interesting because it could help a lot of like artists to know that they could actually get a bit of money for like a song performing particularly well.
For sure.
So like walk me through the exact process. Like you made the song, you put it out, what happened after?
You're gonna hate this answer, but literally the first day I posted it, it just did well. But I think there's principles as to why that was the case. One, sometimes when I promote the songs, they're sped up. And what I was realizing at the time, I was a little bit of a marketing geek. I was like, when people are speeding up their songs, like for some reason, it's just more like, and again, I don't like this word, but it's more for TikTok. And at this point, you're just playing the game, man. You got to do what you got to do. So I was like, let me do the first video as like a short 20-second clip of it like sped up.
Yeah.
And I think the main thing is like the hook was so catchy, and the first line of the song is she says she wants the diamond on a ring finger. So then all of a sudden, after a few weeks, there was just videos of guys and girls singing she said she wanted a diamond on a ring finger, because a girl can sing it, but like a guy can sing it, because as if a girl said something to her. So again, I hate the answer, but it literally, I posted it. I was very consistent before that though. So like the song before that, I kid you not, it was out for like 3-4 months. I promise you, I posted like nearly every single day, if not a couple times every other day. But like it was basically, I was posting at least 5-6 times a week, which I feel like helped me a little bit get the little bit. It didn't do much. I didn't really have a video more than 4 or 5K. But then when this one dropped, I think it got over maybe 100K overnight, and then you know, you keep posting it, it keeps doing well, and that was basically how it.
And how did the label reach out to you after that? Like they saw it on TikTok and then
DMs, man.
on TikTok?
No, on Instagram, yeah. The labels are straight up. They'll hit you up. Some of them will hit you up through email, but a lot of the times they're gonna go through the Instagram, see your Instagram, which I think is good because like it just shows there's someone behind it, and you know, like it's usually like the A&R, so that's a good like connect with that.
And
so,
you knew it was legit, like you knew the label and stuff?
I didn't know the label at the time, but then I researched them, and then it's the same with all of the labels that kind of reached out to us. I was able to like research into all of them, see what they're about, had calls with them, and then basically just chose what was right, essentially.
Nice.
Yeah, 100%.
So you, and obviously now being here, I know that you have a team.
For sure.
When did this happen? Like when did you actually set up a team?
Yeah, I mean, look, when I say I have a team, it's really me and my boys that I've grown up with. And that's what it should be, I feel like, a lot of the times.
Yeah.
I still do a lot of the groundwork myself, but this year I've given myself the goal of like definitely expanding it. And for example, on the content side, working with people that can, you know, post content on your behalf, allowing me to kind of focus on the music and all that kind of stuff. Right. But yeah, the team I have so far, they're really good at just guiding me with the decision making. And I never really known if I like need like management or anything like that. I just think it's very dependent on the artist. I know some artists that can get around it themselves. Obviously in the future, you need someone to do your emails, to do your admin. Like that's not gonna be something you can be doing as the artist all the time. But for now, yeah, like the boys around me, they really help kind of guide my direction. I handle some of the admin bits myself. Sometimes my boys might chip in or whatever, but it's still very close knit. Like, yeah. And that's good for where it is.
So were they like, so was it like that from the start? Like you always had them helping you with stuff, or is it like, oh, I've got some views now, I've got some followers, let me bring in my best bro, this guy, and he can like, well,
I think it got more as time went on. So like it was always, we were going to the studio, we were working on stuff, you know, his music, my music, our music, whatever it was, and I do feel like it was a very smooth thing. Like, I don't think it was something like when that came in, it was like, cool boys, we gotta, you know, there was definitely like, okay, let's monetize, let's, you know, take advantage of it. But it's all very natural. Like all the ideas we come up with never feel forced, or they never feel like one's just trying to do more than the other. It just feels like, I really tell my boys, and I tell it to myself, like just speak your mind, just say what you feel like. We should be in a room and we can just say whatever we want and say whatever we feel about the music. And that's what we do. So to answer your question, very smooth, very natural, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you were talking to like an artist on the verge of coming up right now, which team member would you tell him to hire first, like, or just have his friend be?
I think it's very dependent on the artist. I'll say it's great to lock in with a videographer, somebody that when you need to get some nice visuals, you can lock in with. I think that helps a lot. And then the other thing, alongside the videographer, is somebody that can help on the content side. I don't necessarily have that too much now, but because I do a lot of it myself and I'm used to it, it's okay. But I'm looking to work with a few people. But other than like proper, like definitely have like a generic circle of artists around you, or people that are involved in the music scene, just to give you verbal like advice, like just the very plain and simple. Am I making the right decision? Just opinions. That's all you need in the beginning. Like you really don't need a crazy team or anything like that. I think when you know you need a team, like you'll know.
Yeah.
It's super hard to kind of plan with that. But so I'd say like really hone in on the close circle next to you, and then when you know, when you feel like you need to do a show and you need to lock in with a booking agent, which we're working on now, like I want to perform, then you know the time is there basically. So yeah.
Nice. All right, so 2 more questions because I don't know if we've gone over time.
No worries.
So, what your recent collab was with Kayam?
Yes.
What do you look for when you want to collab with another artist?
Yeah.
Whether that's music or visuals.
Yeah.
What are the things that you look out for?
definitely the style of music is one. Like as an artist, you want to get on a track where you kind of know what's gonna go on, and you see the artist, and as long as you really admire what they're doing, like I think that's a really good way to work with somebody. You either admire them or you can see like a lot of potential in them, because there's some artists like I want to work with that they're not necessarily like as big as me, or like they might be starting out, but I'm like, they're so talented, like I know we can do something great together. So I guess seeing something in them, again, the energy, like if I do collab with somebody, I'd like to just like chat to them or speak to them, or even if we can't call or whatever at the time, we WhatsApp and we know that energy is clean. That's a great thing as well. Those are the two things I'd say. I think when it comes to collabs, it can be very hard, because like you can be in a place where you feel like, nah, I need to work with any and everybody to get myself out there.
Right.
But then there's a side of it that's like, you kind of need to do what's right. You need to make sure that maybe there is such thing as the wrong collaboration, you know, there is such thing as like doing something and it not really being the right thing and you could have done something else. But yeah, energy, seeing that you're inspired and or you admire what they kind of got going on. Those are the main things for sure, yeah.
So, last question.
Yeah.
What are your plans for the future in terms of your music, in terms of your business?
Yeah.
Just let me know.
In terms of the music, I want to continue making music that you can use for your life, and you can go, again, the one thing I always say is I want to make music you can make memories to. Like if I can make something that's so heartfelt that you can instantly like resonate with it, whether that is like the fun rap songs or the more deeper R&B songs, I just want to make music that's for your life. Whoever's watching, you can embrace it and make memories of it, and we can all kind of celebrate that together in shows and all that kind of stuff. For the rest of the year, I think so far I've been doing around a song a month. I feel like that's been a steady, easy kind of like thing for me. It gives me enough time to like give the audience different things whilst also challenging myself. We might see, I think if we do a project this year, maybe like a little summer project. I think in the summer I want to experiment a little bit more. So after this song we have coming out, I definitely want to switch things up a little bit. Not too crazy. We've got a new mask coming, stuff like that. So switching things up in a very cool way. And in long term, I really just want to, you can't predict it, man. And you can't be so like, oh, it needs to be like this, like that. All I know is I want to perform right there at the O2 and I want to go global. The way it happens is like, cool, as long as I'm working hard at where I need to be, wherever I am, that's the most important thing. But I think if I can be the artist that like the fans and the supporters can always rely on to be dropping something and something cool and something different and something great, then if that's my legacy, that's amazing. Like if people can look back on me and be like, yo, that guy always delivered and he always made something and he always tried something, he didn't do the same thing all the time, that's great. And then my biggest goal, like forever, like in terms of very long term, is to have like one album that is just remembered. Like one album that either a classic that's remembered in the city, God willing, remembered globally, that people can just be like, yo, that just one. Hopefully it's two, hopefully it's three. Obviously not just one. So hopefully more than that. But the goal is to have that one album that you could, because I feel like every great artist has the one album that's just like, that's their GOAT. That's what they're known for. That's what's gonna live in, you know, that's what you're gonna show your kids, and the kids you're gonna show your kids, like the way Michael Jackson is right now. That's probably the biggest thing. Yeah, for sure.
Amen. Hope you achieve that, bro.
Thank you, man.
But you said also like you're planning on booking shows.
Yeah,
soon?
for sure.
Where are you planning on like performing and stuff?
I think it's still in the plans. I think we just want to do anything that we can get people together, 100, 200, 300 people. We're just kind of in the process of it. And for me, I just want to, it's been two years since I've been dropping music, and I'm just like, I need to see this in a room. Like I need to see the people that listen to the music and sing along and all that stuff. I don't care how small it is. I don't care how big it is. I just want to see it. I think I'm ready for it. Maybe once I get on stage, I might not be ready for it, but I personally think I'm ready for it. And I know it's going to be beautiful when it happens. So yeah, we're in the process of that right now, God willing.
Nice,
Yeah,
nice,
yeah.
man.
Cool.
Thank you for doing the interview,
Thank you,
bro.
man. Appreciate it.
I really appreciate this, bro.
Thank you, man.
But yeah, I think that's
Cool.
I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's everything.
So can you guys move
Cool.
the chairs forward a little bit?
Yeah.
Let me just make